There is a strange, almost uncomfortable silence in modern medicine when it comes to the most powerful pharmacy in existence, the human mind. We have been conditioned to believe that healing is something that happens to us, a pill we swallow, a procedure we endure, a chemical we inject. We view the body as a mechanical clock, and when a gear breaks, we look for a mechanic. But there is a flaw in this materialist logic. It ignores the ghost in the machine, the invisible orchestrator that determines how those mechanical gears actually turn. History is littered with stories of people who withered away from a broken heart, and others who walked out of hospice because they found a reason to live. We call these miracles or anomalies to avoid the terrifying truth. Your thoughts are not just ethereal whispers, they are biological commands. Your cells are eavesdropping on your internal monologue 24 hours a day. If you've ever felt a gut feeling or felt your heart race just by thinking about someone you love, you've already experienced the bridge between thought and matter. But what if this bridge isn't just for fleeting emotions? What if it's the primary highway for recovery and long-term vitality? We are about to strip away the dogma of toxic positivity and look at the cold, hard, and beautiful reality of how the soul acts as a placebo for the flesh. We often treat the placebo effect as a nuisance in clinical trials, but in reality, it is the ultimate proof of our innate divinity. It is the body's ability to heal itself simply because it believes it is being healed. To understand this, we must move beyond the idea that the mind and body are separate entities. They are, in fact, two sides of the same coin. One is the wave, and the other is the particle. When we change the wave, the thought, the particle, the cell, has no choice but to rearrange itself. This isn't mysticism. It is the fundamental mechanics of how life operates on a subatomic level. It is the science of the soul manifesting through the biology of the brain. By the time we finish, you will realize that you aren't just inhabiting a body. You are hallucinating it into existence through your perceptions, and it's time you took control of the narrative. We will explore how to stop being a victim of your genetic inheritance and start being the architect of your own molecular structure. Prepare to meet the healer who has been hiding behind your own eyes, waiting for you to simply acknowledge their presence. To understand the placebo of the soul, we have to stop looking at the placebo effect as a fake result. In clinical trials, the placebo is the gold standard because it works, sometimes even better than the drug being tested. When a patient takes a sugar pill believing it is a potent painkiller, their brain actually produces endogenous opioids. The pain doesn't just feel better. The chemistry of the body literally changes. The mind creates the medicine that the body expects, proving that the pharmacy is already inside us. In his groundbreaking work, The Biology of Belief, Dr. Bruce Lipton demonstrates that our genes are not our destiny. This is the science of epigenetics, which tells us that genes are like blueprints that require an architect to be activated. Lipton argues that the cell membrane is the brain of the cell, and it reacts to the environment through chemical signals. However, for us humans, the environment isn't just the air we breathe or the food we eat. It is the perception of the world we hold in our minds. If you believe you are sick, trapped, or broken, your brain sends a constant stream of cortisol and adrenaline through your veins. You are in a state of chronic survival mode. In this state, the body prioritizes immediate survival over long-term maintenance. It shuts down the immune system and digestive functions to save energy for a fight that never comes. Healing is a luxury the body cannot afford when its internal narrator is screaming that there is a predator at the door. The first step to healing is not thinking happy thoughts. It is convincing your nervous system that the hunt is over. When we shift our perception from fear to safety, the brain stops producing stress chemicals and starts releasing growth hormones and DHEA. This shift signals the cells to enter a state of repair. It's like telling a construction crew to stop boarding up the windows and start fixing the foundation. Your belief is the signal that changes the work order of your entire biology. My friends, we must recognize that we are constantly dosing ourselves with our internal dialogue. Every resentful thought is a drop of poison, and every moment of genuine peace is a dose of nectar. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about realizing that your body responds more to your internal reality than the external one. If the soul is convinced of its own wholeness, the body will eventually mirror that conviction, cell by agonizing cell, until the physical catches up with the spiritual. If we zoom in on your body, past the organs, past the cells, and past the atoms, we find a startling truth. You are 99.9999% empty space. As Joe Dispenza often explains in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, we are more energy than matter. Yet, we spend most of our lives trying to fix the 0.0001%, the physical stuff, while completely ignoring the vast field of energy that governs it. We are trying to change the reflection in the mirror without changing the person standing in front of it. Think of your body as a television screen and your consciousness as the broadcast signal. If the picture is distorted, you don't fix it by scrubbing the glass of the screen or shouting at the pixels. You check the signal. In the quantum world, particles only exist in a specific place when they are being observed. This means your body is essentially a localized field of energy held together by your habitual observation. If you observe yourself as ill every day, you keep collapsing the energy into that specific diseased form. When we enter states of deep meditation, or what athletes call flow, we shift our brainwaves from the frantic, analytical beta state to the coherent alpha and theta states. These are the frequencies of the subconscious mind and the quantum field. In these states, the brain becomes highly plastic and receptive to new information. You are no longer a body in space and time. You become no body, no one, no thing, in no place and no time. This is the realm where miracles are normal. In this void, the soul can rewrite the blueprint of the body. It isn't magic, it's a reorganization of information. Just as a software update can fix a glitch in a computer without changing the hardware, a shift in your quantum signature can fix a biological malfunction. If the mind can create a physical stomach ulcer through nothing but chronic stress and worry, why do we find it so hard to believe it can create the precise chemistry for cellular regeneration? Both are products of the same system. The soul acts as the observer that determines which quantum possibility becomes a physical reality. When you stop obsessing over the matter of your illness and start focusing on the energy of your vitality, you change the broadcast. You begin to resonate at a higher frequency, one that is incompatible with disease. Healing is simply the process of matching your physical vibration to the perfect, unblemished blueprint that your soul already possesses in the energetic realm. Here is a hard truth that many spiritual teachers are afraid to say. Sometimes we don't heal because we have become addicted to our suffering. We build an elaborate identity around our trauma, our diagnosis, or our chronic pain. It becomes our story, our way of navigating the world, and the primary way we receive attention or sympathy. Over time, the ego begins to fear health because health would mean losing the specialness that comes with being the one who suffers. The philosopher Eckhart Tolle speaks about the pain body, an autonomous psychic entity that feeds on negative thinking and emotional drama. If your soul has been hijacked by the pain body, it will subconsciously veto any biological attempt to get well. It will find reasons to skip the meditation, forget the supplements, or return to the toxic habits that keep the sick self alive. To the ego, a familiar misery is often more comfortable than an unknown joy. Healing, therefore, requires a radical act of treason against your old self. You have to be willing to kill the version of you that was hurt, the version that is a victim, and the version that is defined by limitations. This is a terrifying prospect for most people because they don't know who they are without their problems. But as the saying goes, you cannot find new lands without losing sight of the shore. You must be willing to let go of the person who got sick to become the person who is well. This is why the power of now is so vital to physical recovery. In the absolute present moment, the illness has no history and no future. It is just a collection of sensations. When you are fully present, you stop feeding the story of the disease. You stop saying my cancer or my depression and start seeing these as temporary clouds passing through the vast sky of your awareness. The moment you stop claiming ownership of the sickness, it loses its anchor in your soul. We must examine our lives and ask, what am I getting out of staying this way? It's a painful question, but an essential one. If the soul is using the body's illness to communicate a deeper need, a need for rest, for boundaries, or for love, then no amount of medicine will work until that need is addressed directly. The placebo of the soul can only be activated when the soul no longer needs the illness to tell its story. You must choose life over the story of your struggle. We often think of the soul as something distant, a religious concept, or a ghost in the clouds. But in the context of healing, the soul is simply total presence. It is the part of you that observes your thoughts without being them. When you bring the light of this full, non-judgmental attention into a part of your body that is hurting, you are literally changing the energetic environment of that tissue. Awareness is, in its purest form, a curative force. David Hawkins, in his seminal work Letting Go, describes the mechanism of surrender as the ultimate path to health. Most of us fight our symptoms with a desperate, fearful energy. We hate the pain. We resist the fatigue. But resistance is a high-stress state that creates more tension and more acidity in the body. Surrender isn't giving up or being passive. It is the courageous act of letting it be so that the energy can finally move and dissipate. When you sit with your pain and say, I am willing to feel this exactly as it is, you remove the psychological layer of suffering from the physical sensation. Often, what we call chronic pain is 10% physical signal and 90% emotional resistance. By witnessing the sensation with the soul's eyes, the eyes of the observer, you provide the space for the trapped energy to dissolve. You are no longer the victim of the sensation. You are the space in which the sensation occurs. Every physical ailment is often a frozen emotion that has finally run out of room in the subconscious and has started to manifest in the physical tissue. Anger lives in the liver, grief lives in the lungs, fear lives in the kidneys. By bringing conscious presence to these areas, you are thawing that frozen energy. You are treating the cause, the energetic blockage, rather than just masking the symptom, the physical pain. This is the deepest form of internal alchemy. Sahabat, your body is not a wall. It is a river. It is constantly flowing and changing. The only reason it stays stuck in a diseased state is that your consciousness is holding the energy in place through habit and resistance. When you bring your soul's presence into your cells, you remind them of their fluidity. You invite them to return to the natural state of harmony that existed before the story began. Your attention is the sun that coaxes the flower of health to bloom. So, how do we apply this without falling into the trap of wishful thinking? It starts with the understanding that the body is an incredibly sophisticated recording device. It doesn't know the difference between an actual external experience and a memory or a thought embraced with intense emotion. If you relive a trauma, your body produces the same stress chemicals as if the trauma were happening now. But this also works in reverse. If you pre-live a healing, your body produces the chemicals of health now. Every morning, before you get out of bed and check your phone, before you step back into the costume of your old, limited self, spend 10 minutes in the future. Close your eyes and don't just think about being healthy. That is too intellectual. Instead, feel the gratitude for a body that is vibrant, light, and strong. Imagine walking, breathing, and laughing with total ease. When you feel gratitude before the event happens, you are signaling to your DNA that the healing has already occurred. This isn't just manifesting in the New Age sense. It's neuroplasticity and quantum signaling. You are hardware wiring your brain to a new reality. When you combine a clear intention, the thought of being well, with an elevated emotion, the feeling of gratitude, you change your electromagnetic signature. You move from the state of wanting to be well, which only reinforces the state of not being well, to the state of being well. The universe and your body only respond to who you are being. Consistency is the key. You cannot spend 10 minutes in a healing state and then the other 23 hours of the day in a state of complaint and victimhood. You must guard your frequency like a hawk. When the old thoughts of, "What if it doesn't work?" or "I'm still in pain" arise, you must observe them without joining them. You must return over and over again to the conviction that your body is a reflection of your consciousness, and your consciousness is already whole. Ultimately, the ritual of becoming is about reclaiming your sovereignty. It's about deciding that you are no longer going to let the external world tell you how you feel internally. You are going to broadcast your own signal. When you master this, you realize that the placebo effect was never about the sugar pill. It was always about the person's ability to unlock their own healing potential. The pill was just the permission slip. You are now at a point where you no longer need the pill to give yourself that permission. Healing is not a destination. It is a return to your original state. It is a return to the realization that you are not a victim of your biology, but the master of it. The placebo of the soul isn't a trick. It is the fundamental truth of our existence. It is the soul's way of reminding us that we are much more than the sum of our chemical reactions. We are the consciousness that directs those reactions. If this journey into the depths of the mind and spirit resonated with you, I invite you to walk this path with us. This is Wisdom Path, a sanctuary for those who are tired of superficial answers and are ready to reclaim the hidden powers they've always possessed. We are here to bridge the gap between ancient wisdom and modern science, helping you remember who you truly are. Support our mission by subscribing and sharing this video with someone who might be struggling with their own ghost in the machine. Your likes and comments aren't just numbers. They help this message reach the people who are praying for a sign that healing is possible. Leave a comment below with the word presence if you are ready to take back the pen and rewrite your body's story. Until next time, remember, you are not a body having a spiritual experience. You are a soul having a physical experience. The healer you've been looking for has been looking through your own eyes all along. Stay conscious, stay whole, stay on the path,